Vi phạm và chúng ta sẽ không còn có thể mà hành kiện dùng cái giá trị dân chủ của xứ sở Hoa Kỳ này để mà tranh đấu cho dân chủ và nhân quyền ở Việt Nam. Kính thưa quý vị, xin quý vị ủng hộ chúng tôi trong cái thuyết trình này vì đây không phải là vấn đề tên mà không mà thôi.
City Council for discussion, debate, and a vote in a few minutes here. Councilmember Nguyen.
Dạ vâng, kính thưa quý vị.
I just want to start by saying that if we can get this many people to participate in the public budget process, I think we can get a balanced budget every year. Back to the issue on the table, I just wanted to start out by thanking each and every one of you for coming here to speak tonight, those who in the audience as well in the committee rooms. I wanted to also thank and show my appreciation toward Mayor Reed, Vice Mayor Cortese, Council Members Carter and Churko for their support in this issue. Evidently, this has been a very, very difficult issue for me, and it's even more difficult to come up with a recommended name. It's not every day that you're threatened with a recall and other words of discouragement, especially trying to represent your own community. When we started this process, going out to seek the community's input for the proposed Vietnamese retail area, we received a total of six names. However, the two names that carry the most prominent support are Little Saigon and New Saigon. Advocates for the two names have worked really hard to collect signatures to support the chosen name. We also received letters from 15 organizations, Vietnamese organizations with hundreds of members supporting New Saigon. And apparently we also received a lot of letter support for Little Saigon. Additionally, through the advisor survey, community meetings, countless letters, emails, and phone calls that came into my office in the last 5 months, I found that there was an overwhelming desire to have the word Saigon included in the naming of the business district, and rightfully so. Therefore, with the intent of a sound compromise, that I proposed Saigon Business District for the Vietnamese retail area. The name Saigon celebrates our history and serves as a symbol to encourage future generations to continue to work harder. When my recommendation came out last week, there were some in the Vietnamese American community who were upset at this decision, and it was within their right to voice their opinion. However, lost amid the protests were the voices of those who approved the name Saigon Business District, men and women, young and old, all of whom are in support of the recommended name. Saigon Business District encapsulates everything that is positive about the Vietnamese American community here in San Jose. It will foster our community's continued strong entrepreneurial spirit, celebrate our heritage, and give credit to Vietnamese Americans for their vast economic and cultural contributions to the city of San Jose. Saigon Business District allows us to remember the past, while at the same time allowing us to continue forward toward a better future. As the proposed name is a compromise between conflicting ideals, I hope that it will galvanize old and new, as well as inspire future generations of Vietnamese Americans to work under a banner of unity. For over 30 years, Vietnamese Americans have helped to build San Jose into a prosperous and thriving city. Our community's hard work and perseverance revitalized a previously dilapidated area into one that is now bustling with over 200 different shops and restaurants, all of which stimulate economic growth. I envision a Saigon Business District that, in the next 30 years, will grow even larger to expand and produce opportunities that will be able to better serve the needs of the community, which includes more jobs and more revenue. Tourists and visitors will, most assuredly, list San Jose Saigon Business District as one of the Bay Area's greatest attractions. Ultimately, I believe that the best is yet to come. I ask those of you who disagree with the name to please set aside your differences and embrace this compromise. We, as a community, have much to look forward to, not only in this shopping district, but in San Jose as a whole. I assure you that no one will forget Saigon and what the name represents. Whether Saigon is attached to Little, Old, New, or Business District, Saigon will remain within our hearts and minds. Nothing can or will ever change that. With these first small steps forward, I feel very excited for our community and for the many successes that lie in our future. I want to thank you for the opportunity to serve you and for coming out tonight. With all that said, I respectfully ask all my colleagues to support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Nguyen. Calm down. Calm down, calm down. Calm down. The council's been sitting here for 3 hours listening to you talk. Now it's our turn. That's just the way it works. So please ask you to respect the council, respect the process, and respect the hundreds of people that are here. And let us have our discussion and deliberation and our debate. Thank you, Councilmember Nguyen. Several months ago, when Councilmember Nguyen and I proposed that we designate this area on Story Road as a Vietnamese business district, it was to recognize the tremendous accomplishments of our Vietnamese business community. And while we have a big disagreement over the name, what we're not disagreeing with is whether or not to designate the area. And that's great, because there are other places that have tried to make designations that the city council just wouldn't do it, wouldn't go along with it. So I'm pleased we're not arguing about whether or not to make a designation, because it is a recognition of the success of our Vietnamese business community, which has been so terrific and contributed so much to San Jose. But the exact name ultimately will be decided by the people. Some of the research that I did was to look at all the Little Saigons and other similar areas around the country. And there are other areas that are commonly called Little Saigon, whose official name is something different, because people call it what they want. And what we're doing is empowering the people to call it what they want. We'll have an official designation. We'll allow the business owners to organize and to have an association and to do what they do best, which is run their businesses. If people want to call it Little Saigon, they will. If they want to call it Saigon Town, they will. If they want to call it New Saigon, they will. That is the people's choice. Okay. Calm down. Just calm down. Thank you.
Đây có ai là phóng viên báo chí hay là trong truyền thông không? Chúng ta cũng có thể có quyền phát biểu bày tỏ cái ý nghĩ của chúng ta khi mà Madison hoặc là khi trước biết phát biểu.
I have heard from hundreds of people. In addition to the hundreds of people that have spoken tonight, I've heard from hundreds of other people by mail, email, phone, and personal. And not everybody likes the same name, which is obvious from this night's hearing. A lot of people like Little Saigon, that's certainly true, but not everybody. And this is a compromise proposal that Councilmember Nguyen has made, which I support, which will allow people to call it what they wish, but will respect the views of other people who aren't perhaps well organized and people who didn't choose to organize, but nevertheless their voices have been heard. And this is a reasonable compromise, and I'm going to support Madison Nguyen in this matter. Vice Mayor Cortese. Please be quiet. We need to finish this meeting.
I actually have a couple of